Old guy jamming here. Yeah, hey, so a cool jam that came about because of a new overdrive, which I'll highlight pretty soon. It's my new favorite overdrive. I dig it. It's got a sound that I've been dying for and haven't got. I'm finally playing rhythm on the neck pickup and I'm playing lead on the bridge pickup. It's a great overdrive. Sounds good on many different types of amps. Anyway, fun little ditty. And sorry about the shirt. I have a green Charvel, and more often than not, I end up wearing this horrible green shirt that clashes with the Charvel when I choose it to do a video. Haven't in a while, but in the past. And it's just terrible. And today, orange shirt and with an orange guitar. Pretty bad. But I wasn't even planning on laying the video down. I was outside working in the dirt. I wanted to take a break. I came up with that jam, and it was like, yeah, I'm here. Let's just do it. Hit record. You know, this is the channel of one-hit takes or one-take hits. And, it wasn't one take. Well, yeah, it was one take, but I spent a few minutes on the jam, and I've continued to practice it, and I'm kind of happy with where it's going. It's fun. It's different for me. All right, so enjoy the teardown of this SLO30. Pretty cool amp. Enjoy. I have on the bench a SLO30. I pulled it out of the chassis already. Pretty easy. Just 4 bolts on the bottom, screws on the bottom, and you slip it out the back just like anything else. But wanted to give you a look inside. Just because it's really beautiful. A bit of artistry in this one, very much like the Igniter amps, where you see the nice detail on those green ground wires in the back, how they went all the way into the corner, down the side, back and around. They come up from behind the switches instead of coming up from this way to the lugs. They come up from the chassis. And then come back out, which leaves a lot of open room in here, which is just kind of a unique thing. These wires along the volume and tone knobs are, this one's a little long, that one sticks out a little bit, but for the most part, they all have a similar bend, a similar length, a nice amount of loop, which is cool. Over here as well, a nice amount of loop allows you to, it's not a full service loop, but a nice amount of loop there, and they're all the same. Igniter probably would have had another zip tie right here. Nobody uses more zip ties than Igniter. But here's our impedance switch for selecting your ohms. The effects loop is over here. It's a buffer-driven effects loop, which is this tube right here is a tube-driven, tube-buffered effects loop. This is a 12AY valued tube rather than a 12AX7. Otherwise, everything else is 12AX7 and 5881s in the power amp stage. Now, what's really nice about this is the all the tone knobs and volume knobs are mounted to the chassis and then connected to the printed circuit board with wires, which means you don't have to pull the board to replace a pot. But notice they're full size and they've got this gap up in here. This allows you to wash one out if it becomes noisy because of some dust or contamination. It's really easy to get your contact spray in there and spray out the contaminant so that your pot becomes silent again. Nice amount of space on the board. The printed circuit boards are thick, very stiff, very rigid. Large size indiscrete components or discrete components with these resistors, all at least 1/2 watt resistors, which is just a really nice feature. Large things. The orange drop capacitors are high quality. These large caps, like these filter caps over here, don't have any glue on them to help stabilize them when they vibrate, which is kind of interesting. But, you know, I trust Soldano to do what they're supposed to do. But it's really just really nice. Nicely put together, unlike, and I'm not bad-mouthing Marshalls, I love Marshalls, but even in the JVM, you know, the flagship Marshall, the printed circuit board is full of application-specific ICs or chips instead of discrete components of just capacitors, resistors, tubes, and things like that. So it's just a difference, but really pretty, nice layout. Nothing stands out as, you know, weird. Rectification is over here. We've got a rectifier there, rectifier there. I think this is a voltage regulator on that side. Nice big heat sink to keep things cool. But while we're in here, I also thought I would go through biasing this because it's pretty straightforward. I already made the notes. This is the medium range, so it would be, well, medium. You have 37 to 38 millivolts across R64 and R63. R64 is right there, and I made 2 little marks. And over R63 is right there with 2 little marks. Now, being that, and you can measure across those when you make these millivolt measurements with your trusty meter in millivolt setting. But because ground is ground is ground in electronics, you don't have to measure across each one. You can just attach a ground wire to the ground side of this resistor, and then with your positive probe, and since I'm done screwing around in here, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. When you bias an amplifier, you have to have a speaker load hooked up, which I do. You don't have to have a guitar in, but you do have to have a load on the output. So I'll turn this sucker on and let it get warmed up. Right now it'll show 0. So, but we'll let it go, we'll let it warm up a little bit, then we'll take it out of standby. But by putting a grounding clip on this side of the resistor, it frees you up to just use one probe in some of these spots that are a little tighter. And because ground is ground is ground, you don't have to move your ground lead or your black lead over to the other side of this resistor. You can just put the positive one here. So it frees up your hands to do other things. All right, we'll take this out of standby, and then I'm gonna watch what I'm doing and then pull this back. So the probe is there, and this is gonna come up as it heats up. So we got 39.5. Now the upper range of this is 40 to 41. The medium range is 37 to 38. The bottom range, or the very cool side, would have been 35 to 36. So we're choosing to go kind of mid to upper range. The advantage, now I'll go over here, but I'm gonna watch what I'm doing. And there we go. On this side, we have 40.3. So we're at the upper range, the hotter range. Well, the low side of the hotter range. No, we're at 40. So 39 to 40 would be the upper range. 37 to 38 is the middle, and 35 to 36 would be on the cooler side. The advantage of being on the cool side is your output tubes will last longer, but you may suffer a little tone loss. Is it noticeable? Probably not with that small of an adjustment. I have biased other amps where I've just done it by feel. A lot of techs will do it by feel and tone. And like I've said before, Dream Theater, John Petrucci, he has a set of tubes last for an entire tour because the bias is just set cooler. And I've heard for Angus Young on an AC/DC tour will put new tubes in every other show because his amps are biased hot. So it just drives those output tubes a lot more and it burns them up quicker. So pretty nice layout, pretty nice amp. I'm going to be highlighting this on a video pretty soon, but I wanted to get it checked out. Got a screaming deal again at Guitar Center. They had a $500 off a used price. It was already used price. They had $500 off. They must have my number or something. But super nice amp, American made. Lots of room up here. Really nice. All right, so that's how you bias it. That's the insides of it. The top is just the top with some tubes sticking out. We'll show you that in a second. Impedance switch. Back here, nice thick heavy duty switch, 16 ohms, 2 speaker outs. Doesn't tell you that use one first or which one you use. Just you can use one or two. Should probably check the manual on that. This output transformer is bent, which is weird, but that's okay. That's the OT, American made steel. Lots of American iron in here. There's the power transformer. It is not the Pink Taco transformer by Friedman. Thank you, someone, for pointing that out from a video quite a while ago. This is probably an inductive choke on the input. Has to do with flattening out the AC, so you get some high quality DC voltage values. Helps tame the front end of the amp. But this is our input. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is our phase. Well, it could be phase inverter, but I think that's the tube for the effects loop. That's the 12AY7. Everything else is 12. And then we've got these 5881, which are similar to 6L6s, but a little bit different. They're a little shorter. Some of the 6L6 tubes are too tall to get into the chassis. Hey, so there you have it. Pretty cool amp. Digging it. We'll see you next time.